Hi, everybody. My name is Arie Davey. I am one of the co-chairs of Payment for Placements along with Matt Dargay, and I'm going to be giving you a little mini presentation about what Payment for Placements is all about, especially with the updates for what's been happening in March. So let's get this party started. So Payment for Placements, we've done a lot of surveys and we know that what's going on right now is a crisis. We know that 83% or 4 out of 5 students are working on top of school. At our orientation, the school said that they expect students to be working 60 hours a week on this program. So you do the math, people are working, 70 to 100 hours a week to pay the bills and to stay in school. People aren't eating, aren't sleeping. I feel like everybody knows at least one or many people who are really struggling with this workload. And we see an immediate solution is getting paid for the work we are doing and valuing the work we are doing as social workers. Dean Himley himself in our social work forum said that 88% of students are not paid for their field work. What's interesting though, from a motivational interviewing perspective, is that 12% of students are paid. So we know that this is possible. We know that this work is valuable. And that's why Payment for Placement sees an immediate solution that the school can fix very quickly if we have the people power and the pressure to demand it. On top of this, I'm just going to say that what we know is that unpaid internships and the fields that rely on them lead to a greater segregation, a predominantly white workforce, predominantly from wealthy backgrounds. I mean, at our petition, we saw people who were saying that they didn't come to U of M or they didn't even stay in state for social work because of the cost of education. So it's just a large problem that we really have the opportunity to be the change for. So we have a proposed payment plan where we would get paid in bi-weekly increments, depending on how many hours of work you do per week. That way, we know that a steady amount of money is much better for people to actually pay the bills. This is also modeled after, law students and public policy students and how they get paid for their internships. The main difference between law students, public policy students, and I'm going to put public health students at U of M who all get paid for their internships is that they are more widely white and male dominated. So what I'm calling this, and I think what we should all be calling this, is what it is, which is a feminized labor pay gap that at the university and at a larger national level, the value of predominantly like women dominated fields is being devalued, and it's unacceptable. And the university has the money to pay interns. They are paying public health students an average of $17 an hour in their internships. So it's already happening for students here. And I think that's something that we all need to really be aware of. So moving forward, we also think that field sites that can afford to pay us should. And this would all this money would be under a scholarship. So it would be untaxed. It wouldn't be necessarily affecting your FAFSA or your student aid. It would be just an additional source of funding. So moving forward, the where, we really want this to come out of the unrestricted endowment funds from the university, although really as students and as organizers, what we are doing is demanding the money, and wherever the money comes from, it will come. It's really more a question of us pushing the university. They recently gave all the lecturers a pay raise, and the lecturers weren't demanding, oh, it comes from this pocket. They were saying, we demand this money, and the university has a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, they paid $41 million on a new scoreboard and new sports equipment just last week at the Regents meeting. So the myth that there is not enough money is just a myth. And it's really about people power and demanding better. And as a large student body, putting pressure on the university, because, me going up to the pulpit and saying, we need money, that's not what's going to win. What's going to win is all of us coming together and saying this is unacceptable and we deserve better. And we know the value of our work. So anyway, this is not going to be coming from the School of Social Work's budget. That's the most important thing that you should know. The School of Social Work has about $9 million in financial aid right now. That's maybe 30% of its overall budget. But what we think is that the School of Social Work should be better funded and that this money would be coming into the School of Social Work and benefiting not only students, but also benefiting everyone together. So other options, we have a lot of backup options. There's a lot of, there's some funding from the CARES Act, and there's also basically a lot of state funding that I think that the task force and the school administration has also expressed interest in trying to work with other schools to try to influence where that money goes. But, ultimately, there are many, many options, but we really want to be paid for our internships. And that's kind of, as I was saying earlier, where the money comes from is maybe a secondary question. And that's what really matters is us applying the pressure together as a student body. So that's why I'm talking to you today. So moving forward, we need everybody involved, and how you can get involved is coming to our bi-weekly meetings. We love new members. Y'all are truly, it's really inspiring to have new people come in. And also as social workers, this is an incredible experience. We are really tasked with being the change in our society, and working for payment for placements is one of the most tangible ways to be getting community organizing experience and, macro experience, especially, but not just macro experience, because I'm talking to people a lot of the time about all of us having common issues. And I think that getting that conversation started, is really important too. So everyone has an opportunity to be a part of this. And also it's historic. What we're doing is it's become a nationwide movement. So I just want to extend that invitation to all of you to be making history with us. The way that we do this is through relational organizing. So that means it's one thing for me to send an email to everybody and say, hey, come to our meetings, go to the rally, all this stuff. But what really works the best for organizing is when people are getting contacted from their friends. So that's why we really need this to be a large community issue, is we need people to be talking to their friends about this and saying, hey, payment for placements, do you know what's going on with that? Like, what do you think about it? Here's what I think. Are you upset about not getting paid for field? I am. And also, inviting your friends to actions, inviting them to kind of stay up to date, to sign our contact card, which will be at the end of this presentation, and our union card, because the reason we are so successful is because we are being supported by two labor unions, the American Federation of Teachers and our Graduate Employees Organization, or GEO, which represents all graduate students, including us. And they have donated their time, their money, their organizing strategies, everything. So thank you, GEO, and t-shirts, by the way. So really, we're looking for more organizers, more people. People power is what will win. And that's why we got the task force in the first place, is because we had so many people who were on board with it and demanding it. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We have 11 chapters in 9 states. There's several chapters in Michigan. There's bachelor's and master's students. If you go onto the social worker Reddit, people are talking about this now. We're really making the change in the discourse around this too. Like the NASW chapters in multiple states are now talking about paying students. We have chapters all over the country. We have, in California, Texas, Massachusetts, Michigan, Illinois, I think maybe Kentucky, New York, many, many places, because this is a problem everywhere. And as the #1 school of social work, we really can be the change and start ending unpaid internships, which were unthinkable 40 years ago. This wasn't even legal in the distant past the way it is now. And so we really have the opportunity to make history together. So it's pretty exciting. Um, we also want to involve people from the School of Education, nursing, public health. Um, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Continuing. So how we do this, how we win is mass student engagement, friend to friend organizing, public displays of support. We have a newsletter going out every week now. We're going to start recruiting people from the incoming class soon. But we can't do it alone. We really need to constantly remind the school that this is a crisis and it must be addressed. We have to demand that, and out of self-love and love of our community. And so that's how we really need your support. So moving forward, we want to devise a stipend program. So this is kind of a little bit complicated, but the way that the School of Social Work gets budgeted every year is by going to the provost and submitting a proposal for the budget. And the provost is kind of a gatekeeper. And what that means is they don't really have much incentive to give out more money unless there's a lot of pressure and people power. So what we're really hoping is that with student organizing and student power, we can collaborate with the university's School of Social Work administration to go to the provost and say, we agree that we need this money. This is how much money we want. And students want this. Students need this. And that we can sort of pressure the provost, who actually is leaving May 15th or so, into solidifying her legacy of supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion by funding us. And so what we need for all of you, again, is to really get involved so we can apply this pressure and to maybe get ready for some bigger actions that we may need to do to really get this on the provost's radar. So moving forward, our meetings for every week, which we would love to see you at if you want to be a part of history, if you want another line on your resume that will look very impressive. Our meetings are on Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. We also do recordings. We have several group me's. If you go to our Instagram, you can actually join our larger group me. But really, we just need everyone to get involved in whatever way you can. The biggest things you can do are signing our contact sheet here, tinyurl.com/P4P contact, because we need data on students like, are you in field? When do you graduate? etc. And also getting your non-U of M email so we can tell you super secret things that we're planning, because emails can be monitored by the school. And then we also need everyone to sign up for GEO, our graduate employees organization. At tinyurl.com/P4P union. So we are in a right to work state. That means that people don't have to pay union dues, which are the lifeblood of unions. So that means that you can technically sign up for GEO and not pay any money for people who are very financially stressed, although we really, really would appreciate people paying I think it's like maybe $30 for 3 months to support GEO, because they are supporting us. And the stronger that GEO is, the stronger that we will be. They're actually going to be negotiating a contract with the university in the fall. And it would be really great if we can show our support to GEO so that they can include us in what they demand from the university this fall. So that is all. I want to say thank you all for watching this, for participating in this movement. And I really hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much. You all are amazing. We are change makers. Bless. Bye-bye.